Hey!
Hey!
Happy Thursday! Thursday na, di ba?
Yes. Happy Thursday.
Happy
And for those who are
Thursday!
watching, hola, bonjour, aloha,
Yes, yes,
buongiorno.
yes.
What else do I know?
Ayan, how are you, lads? Kumusta?
Good. I mean, it was fun. I mean, Thursday was great because we had two shows consecutive. We had the next gym and we had just other things started. Yes, a while ago then.
Oh,
They were
oo
aired
nga.
together.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, they were aired together. It's a good thing that they're both 30 minutes, so you could practically watch each of them.
Right. This is on YouTube or Facebook?
Yes, it's on YouTube. So
Okay.
Ate Yen Yen or Ate Judith has her own show now, which is called Just Ally Things.
Yay!
And their
Mhm.
first guest was the best friend of Pao, the sister of Pao, and Thais Estrada. So it's a good tease. It's a good start because they started talking about what is how do you become an ally. So and that's I
Right.
think that's the
Interesting.
whole message of her show naman eh.
Cool, cool. Gusto ko yan. It's a good platform for everybody to be educated eh. Parang it's
Mm.
light. Tama ba? I haven't seen it yet, no, but I think I am gonna watch it after our show. I think it's good that we get to see these platforms on screen.
Yeah.
It's just conversational talk show-ish lang naman yung
Yeah,
dating
it
niyan.
is. And it's really quick, short, and later on you also have Oh Mando and I Want TV. So it's a fully booked Thursday.
Yes! Ang busy natin.
And we're reviewing now Benex's Gym, wherein we're in
The next
episode
gym,
4. I
episode
think
4.
halfway mark na ba tayo?
Yay!
Or not yet?
8 episodes. Tama ba ako?
Yeah,
Correct me
so
if I'm wrong. Right.
so we're in the halfway mark of Benex's Gym na, if ever.
Yep. So, ilang episodes na lang? 4 more episodes,
Yeah,
no?
4 more.
4 more
Pero
episodes.
based on the mga other series, it's their climax could start anytime now. It could come on episode 5, 7, 8.
We can
So we
sense
don't
that.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally,
according
totally.
to Rafi, it's 7 though. 7 episodes.
7. 7 Rafi? Okay,
Yeah.
Rafi Delio. Okay. Thanks, Rafi. And 7 episodes. Cool. Sige. Aabangan natin yan.
Oo nga eh. And
3 more
which
to
team
go.
would you still be ba after this? Would you still be Team Stars, Team Boardwalk, Team Hobby, or Team... What's the other one? What am I missing? Stars, Boardwalk, Hobby.
Boardwalk Hobby. Meron pang isa. Team... Oh gosh. Who's the other one? Leo. Who's Leo?
Oh, Leo. Oh, Team Mine.
Team Mine. Ayun. Team Mine. Sino to? Team Mine, Team Hobby, Team Stars, and then Team Boardwalk naman.
Yes.
Uy, ako, the Team Stars talaga ako all the way. I can sense it. I'm the type of person. Ikaw ba?
After this episode, Team Stars. And with the teaser, Team Stars.
Yes! Diba? I mean, let's all be realistic, right? I mean, you go for someone na... well, to me, we'll later we'll discuss about that. We'll just wait for Mikey and then we can talk about that, no? Parang, and may mga cliches and tropes kasi na napakita in this episode, no? Although I must admit, as I told you a while before we went live, no? Sabi ko nga parang, I didn't like so much the previous episode. Parang, we were shown a lot of cliches and tropes di ba? Na parang hindi ko masyadong nabita. But I still like the series. But for this particular episode, I like it because my cliches, sabi ko nga parang it has the same Thai BL feel or even formula, di ba?
Yes.
Pero it's giving us the Filipino angle and flavor Kaya na-appreciate ko siya all the more, di ba? So, overall, it's a satisfier to me. But we'll just discuss that about this later on. But to me, ako kasi overall, parang I want to be this, I'm this very practical person. Siguro, with all the experiences, the heartbreaks and all, parang I would go for 2 stars and Olan, diba? I mean, you go for someone who is really genuine and all out sa'yo diba?
Yeah, I remember the last topic that we had with Kale. I wonder kung heavy research na ba si Olan kasi he was kind of suspicious if he's taking advantage of Ben regarding this, but for me it felt like the other way around. Like I mean, from another team naman na I think Jim was taking advantage of Ben. He's used to this tropa kind na Uy,
Mhm.
Ben, patulong
Correct.
nito. Uy, Ben, Jim, Ben, patulong naman dito. Patulong naman dyan.
Yes, yes. Parang ano eh, parang well, we've had these experiences naman in the past, no? Yung tipong, ano ba to? The empath and the narcissist. May ganong argument before yun, diba?
Yes,
Diba may
yes.
partners na parang may narcissist na parang, sige, ako lang lagi, diba? Parang praise me all you want and then ikaw bahala ka na. And then the empath would be like the marupok na parang all give out lang lahat, no? Parang ganyan. Oh, that's a good
Oh,
discussion tonight, no? As we do the review, the empath and the
oo.
narcissist. Diba?
Or pwedeng balik, we could go another surface level. It's the extrovert and the introvert. Because the introvert
Oh,
would be
pwede.
absorbing and absorbing. The extrovert would be giving and
Right,
giving.
right, right,
So
right,
let's
right.
see.
So ayan, tatanungin din natin yung mga friends natin and mga nanonood with us tonight. But before that, we'll say hi to some of them. I will say hi to ang early bird natin, si Armand.
Hi, Armand.
Yan, super early yan. Sabi niya wala daw nagchat-chat sa kanya. Andyan na siya at around 7:15 p.m. So thank you so much Armand for tuning in so early. But we decided to have it scheduled at around 9 p.m. para makahabol yung iba, no? Kasi normally
Yeah.
pag 8 p.m. masyado pang maaga and it's still the premiere of Ben X,
Yes.
no? Right. We'll say hi to Joy, of course, ang ating
Hi, Joy. Hi,
classmate, sabi
classmate.
ganyan eh. Ayan. Nainis daw siya, Lance, kasi ano, ayan o. Kinikilig daw siya.
Siyempre, team stars din yun si Joy.
All the way tayo. Team stars tayo. Yay! Ayan. And of course, we'll say hi to Rafi.
Hi,
And
Rafi.
thanks for sharing about the number of episodes as we still have for this series, no? And of course, Stefan.
Stefan, bonjour. Ça va?
Kumusta ka? Right. Ayun, may mahilit na talaga si Joy. Team, Benolan. Yes! Benolan. Gusto ko yun.
Grabe.
Right. Okay, I think we have here Kurt Fernandez. Asan po episode 4? Episode 4 is saan to, Lance? Where can we view this?
You can watch it on YouTube and Regal Films, Regal Entertainment on YouTube. So you just drop by there and you can find the link.
Yes.
And just to clarify, we're doing an after show review or after show chat. So we're not doing a live reaction while we're in here. So best watch the show, then come back.
Yes. Okay, so siguro before we can share our insights about what we think about the episode, we can just flash the thoughts or insights of Stefano. Yeah, and he's saying that I am in the team of the nanny. Personally, me too.
Me too.
Between Jim and who says of Ben that he is his super close best friend in all the universe, of course. Ayan. Meron din siyang extension pa na comment. Go, Lance.
But who does not see the feelings of Ben and Ben? Uy, Ben and Ben, a song. The singers. Who says that he's joking after having confessed his feelings, or I hate it here. And his coping rebel.
We all hate it here.
I know. Hashtag marupok.
Yes! Ayun. Yun yung natin, parang summary ng episode na to. Hashtag marupok. Okay. So, before
I
we
know
discuss... Is it Nolan here?
Yeah. Ang entrada niya, I'm pissed. Believe me, Nolan, I am too.
Me too. I am more than pissed, I'm telling you.
Yeah, if I had the cake from my day, I would have thrown that same cake at him.
Yes. Ayan. Why did he change his mind out about the confession? Exactly. We have the same question.
Yeah. I think we will discuss that later on.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. So, siguro initial thoughts na lang. I think Mikey will just follow, and then probably he'll just join us mid live or mid discussion. Sige, go. What are your initial thoughts? I can go first, Lance. Para
sure. Go ahead.
Mas mahihimay mo yung episode. Ako initially, I must admit that I didn't like the previous episode. This is something that I will be very honest because I saw so many cliches and tropes in the previous episode, and to me, they were not that necessary, at least from my perspective. No, it's just my opinion. But for this particular episode, they make a lot of sense already. Like we still see cliches and tropes, like the girlfriend, it's a trope. We see
Yeah.
cliches, but I like the writing better. I like the dialogue better. I
Oh
like how
yes.
the surprise, for example, yung revelation that the girl is not really a frontliner or a nurse, right? Parang nanghiram lang siya ng
Yes,
scrub
Aling
suit sa
Elma.
tatay niya. So, ayan, I just super like the writing and the revelation, and this is the story that we want and that we need at
Yeah.
the end of the day. And parang I'm the type of person. Ikaw storyteller ka din, Lance. Eh. Parang you want these things coming through, like mga twists and turns here and there, and we want that. And they gave it to us now for this particular episode. I like the acting also. Super favorite ko talaga si Kat Galang. I'm telling you, Kat Galang is like my ultimate favorite as a best friend. Super natural lang
Yes.
talaga yung arte niya. I super like Jerome Ponce for the acting. I like TJ, and I like what's the name of Olan? Sino tong actor
Si
na
Ron
to?
Martin Angeles.
Yes. Nung unang episodes, parang I was kind of unsure about him, but now parang he's really coming through. I can feel that he's
Yeah.
really convincing me with the character. Overall, I super like the episode. I'm looking forward to the next 3 episodes. Ayun, yun lang. Sabi mo nga kanina, hashtag marupok. Yun talaga yung nakuha ko. Yun yung biggest takeaway ko from this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, kasi this episode, especially, I appreciate the first part wherein they said in the intro pa lang, ang bawat isa na nilikha ay pantay-pantay. Or in
Right.
English, all of us are created equal. And it goes back, it reprises or goes in full circle at the end as well. Na hoping that in this universe, we also see each other as love, as equal as well. Na hoping that Ben was also hoping that if we're in another universe or another galaxy, if we would love regardless, we'd be seen as equal or seen as the same as the others. And yeah, and I had the same feeling too as Air Source. Na it felt like the same. I think this was a throwback maybe because we know with Easy Ferrer, he likes to put tributes of each from episodes from different series. Like we had the basketball from In Between, we have the cake from My Day, we have the arm necklaces from Game Boys. If you noticed that, the ones what they were wearing today, and I guess also the name it's Alcantara comes from the character of Nico. Hello Stranger. And I think that episode as well, when I saw that episode, parang, oh no, this feels like Hello Stranger again. But it also threw me to what you were saying a while ago. This is reminiscent of Thai BLs because it threw me to Theory of Love. It reminded me of that Marupok scene wherein, what was the name of the character again? Si Third ba yun?
Third.
Parang was realizing his feelings for his best friend. And his best friend would just see him as a best friend. And I think after that episode, it would flip in the Theory of Love. So, but this, I don't think so. But let's see. But I appreciate that moment, that tender moment between Jerome and Apelasin and TJ, especially the way you could see how Jerome's smile sync from that to it was so slow-mo and you could see the reaction shift na talagang he's trying to process everything that was just said. And then suddenly you get smacked by saying it's all a joke. And like it's another episode from another series.
Right.
Yeah, I think we do still see some tropes like wifey, and I think we're getting used to it na kasi the characters accepting that term already, but personally I don't really like the term wifey. So, but yeah. And we see the trope of a girl, of the girlfriend too, is still there. Na she has this mataray side or this mean side from her. So we see, at least we see layers na she could be mean and she could be good.
Right.
We don't just see a monotone character that she's always angry or she's always a bitch. She's always this contravida who's after a dog. So we don't see those.
Right. Ayun, sabi nga ni Joy, parang naging malinaw na ang malalabong part ng story. True.
Yeah.
Kayo ba, what are your thoughts? Mikey.
Hi Mikey.
Hi, I'm just curious about what they said. Anong malabong part ng story?
I think, yeah, go Lance.
Yeah, I think ikaw naman, Nico. I think you're the one who have more sentiments with Joy kasi you didn't like
Yeah.
the second episode, the previous episode.
True, true. So sabi ko si Mikey before you came in, parang, well, you guys know about this. I didn't like the previous episode because I saw cliches and tropes. And to me, at least
Mhm.
sa akin, they didn't make sense. Parang nagpakilig lang yung previous episode sa akin. But for this particular episode, we saw cliches and tropes still, but they are effective in building the story at least. Kaya nga sabi ni Joy, parang mas naging malinaw na yung kwento or story. Kasi sa previous episodes, parang we just saw all these cliches and tropes eh. But now parang, oy, ayun na, lumabas na yung pagkamarupok ni Mama. Ganon.
Kulang na lang
Yeah.
may umulan na rin dun kanina. Parang kompleto na yung full marupok scene kapag umulan.
Right.
Pero ikaw, Mikey, what did you get from that episode?
Yep.
I guess I'm still processing at the moment, pero siguro one of the things that I got, and something that you already mentioned earlier was, and I'm not sure if it was already part of the episode per se, or maybe it was added on there because of the current discussion on the Soji bill. Pero the line that was mentioned, yung ang lahat nilikha ay pantay-pantay, parang it seemed to me that it wasn't really supposed to be there and it was just added on because if we're talking about the consistency of the font and also the color, it seemed like an added line, right? Because usually we don't get a line like that. We get a narration from Ben. And we still got the same narration. Basically, he was saying that kung kailan na parang when you start feeling something for someone, there's going to be something that comes along which reminds you that it could all end, something like that, right? So it was very different. And because that line was about being pantay-pantay or being equal, it really sort of like took me to an idea that it was really about the Soji bill and it was a statement.
Right.
And I appreciated that actually because
Same.
it's still tied into the theme of this particular episode, which is basically, I guess, revelation, confession, right? And you want the same kind of love that straights do. And that was something that was verbalized as well by Ben when he said at the end, like, I wish that there was a world wherein I would love you and you would love me back the same way that you love her. Right?
That is good.
That was a very powerful scene. It's better in Tagalog, obviously.
Yes.
So, I mean, it doesn't carry the same nuance in English, but in Tagalog, it was really a very poetic, I would say, line. I mean,
Yes, it was very poetic.
It weighed heavily on my heart because basically it's sort of like acknowledging the fact that in this particular timeline or in this particular world that we live in right now, the kind of love that happens between two boys is not necessarily accepted. And we wish that in the future, in the near future, that kind of love is not only accepted but also celebrated. Because at the moment, it's like there are still sectors of society that are unaccepting, not even tolerant of this kind of love, and they feel that there should be some kind of rehabilitation for individuals who fall in love with the same sex or with the same gender. So I think that's basically what I got from this episode right here, is that Ben just wants to love Jim the way that he can, and he wants Jim to be able to love him back in the way that should be, or something like that.
Yes.
Right. So I guess we've all been there, right? Not necessarily with a straight guy, but maybe with another person. You know, it can be a little boy, whatever. But we have all been at that point where we love this person and we want to love this person the way that we want, but then because they can't love us back, or because there are social constraints to it, or maybe the norms dictate that we should behave a particular way, then of course that kind of love is does not exist. It does not happen. So with everything that's been happening around us, I think that's why I interpret it that way, because of all the goings on that's been happening recently.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah. But I think we've also seen, but this is more on the preview side of it, that there is someone who is willing to love then the way that he wants to be loved, but then it's not necessarily from the guy that he necessarily loves or likes.
Yes.
So we go to that dilemma. Parang, who do I love? I mean, who do I go with? Yung mahal ko o yung mahal ako?
Nagkad yung kantang yan. Sino
Right? Because
ang
Sean.
ibigin ko?
right, because there is someone who is willing to give him that love, and we saw that in the
Right.
preview. He was Olan basically declared that he wants to court Ben. So yeah, so there we are. What about you, Nix?
Well, ako, I sabi ko nga kanina, no, I super like the writing now for this particular episode. Parang it came through already. Like sabi nga ni Ryan ito yung exact line, di ba, na sinabi
Ang
ni
galing
Ben.
nga eh.
Di ba? Kung pwede lang na maging tayo, like mahalin mo ako the way you love her. Sana may mundo na mahal kita. Sabi mo, Mikey, di ba, ito yun eh. Mahal mo ako, natanggap tayo na walang tanong.
Walang
Parang walang tanong. I really felt it eh. And I think tama ka, Mikey, parang ako naisip ko agad the Soji bill eh. Parang we're still affected from yesterday and then today, 'di ba? And that's why we have the same sentiments about it eh. But yeah, good writing. I don't know kung naplano ito ng writer, no? But I think this is very timely and I think this is a good point of reflection for everybody, especially mga friends natin na nanonood at the moment. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Kel.
Ayun, may tanong sa'yo, Mikey.
Ayun na. Go, Mikey.
Oh yeah, okay. So we talked about it in the previous episode, right? I mean, we don't really agree with it. I, for one, am hashtag Team Hubby, right? But now I think that because of that conversation that they had after the fight with Leo, that Jerome accepts that he might not be as well versed or as woke as Ben, and therefore he kind of gave us an idea that he is still willing to learn, or that there is so much that he has to learn still, right? And I think we've established as well, or the show has established as well, that TJ is not a damsel in distress. He verbalized it that he didn't ask for help. He can handle himself and he can fend himself. So I think at this point in time, we are thinking of it. I mean, I'm thinking of it as sort of like a kind of term of endearment, or parang pangungulit lang ni Jim, right? So I'm not taking offense at it, but hopefully, if for example they do get together, then it becomes Team Hubby, because that's I mean, that's how I feel it should be. I mean, you can all fight me on that. You have your own opinion. That's okay. But hopefully it changes to Team Hubby if and when maybe they become sort of like a really up an item, right? So I noticed that they put that as well in the chat. So it's really just, I think, because Jerome, or let's say Jim, is that way too. I mean, he's sort of like the tease. He's sort of like the barkada who is always making asar people, right? So even in the lives, he'd use the term wifey. Not maliciously, but I think it was just really making fun or poking fun, and not necessarily in a malicious or an offensive kind of way. So
it's like tol, bro, mga ganun lang siya.
Correct, right? So I'll give him a pass on that, right? In a way,
go ahead, you finish muna. I'm still thinking how to process what I'm thinking.
Yeah, there was also one scene wherein Jim was doing something with Treehouse, or was doing something for Iana, and then he got really up close and personal with Ben. Like his face was all up in there, and he was like, "So sincerely, thank you, wifey." And then I would really have to say na kinilig ako sa scene na yun. I didn't mind the wifey term at all. I didn't really find it at all, because the sentiment was na parang, you're still special to me. And he even said, wag ka mag-alala. Sa'yo pa rin naman.
Sa'yo pa rin ako.
I was like,
mga linya ng para sa marupok.
Pero,
correct. Kung marupok talaga ako, binigay ko na lahat.
Exactly.
Seriously. I mean, if you have someone who looks at you that way, and then he wasn't at all like, I don't know, hindi siya, alam mo yun, but he was really up close and personal. There was no, I don't
Mm.
know, hesitation. What do you call that? Walang pag-aalinlangan. Na
Yeah.
talagang he feels really close to Ben. So, alam mo yun, parang that kind of closeness is nice, but then the way that he delivered those lines, it was like, okay,
Right, right.
take all my money, Char.
Pero Mikey, I have to, parang affected din ako because I think, sabi ko nga kanina, parang good acting really, with good writing. I can really sense that sobrang, I think one of the viewers said na parang naapektuhan talaga siya na it's not just the kilig, feeling mo part ka nung scene na yun eh. Parang, di ba sabi mo nga Mikey, parang you want to really submit
Third
to it.
wheeling.
Eh. Di ba? And then, natutuwa ako kay TJ Marquez. I mean, the way he really showed his marupok self, even yung facial expression niya, bigla siya nag-soften at alam mo, super effective talaga siya. Kaya ang galing-galing. Sa usapang, super, di ba? Super, I mean, wala talagang pala yung acting for me ng mga actors ng series na to. Sa usapang pagiging marupok, referencing Pearl Next Door, sabi ni Ryan,
The X and the
constant.
the constant.
The X and the
Yes.
constant. Right, absolutely. Diba?
Who can explain? Ano tong X and constant? Sa mga hindi pa siguro familiar.
Go, Lance.
Go.
It's basically the one you love and the one you love and the one who loves you. So
Yan.
the X would be someone you like but you cannot reach, and the constant would be someone who keeps on reaching for you, but for some reason you're not really attracted to them yet.
Right.
But it's that constant is always there. So
always there,
could
no
be a
matter
friend.
what.
No matter what. So that constant could be Ben for Jim before when they were growing up. So I'm trying to, and it's also law of proximity with GSP. Because they were close maybe before.
Right.
And now they're close again. So things may be coming back. And maybe there's like what Ryan was saying a while ago na maybe there's a deeper meaning between the term wifey. And I think Stefan was also saying about that too. Now there's a backstory. Maybe because if we were kids, let's say we were kids during that time, we were playing bahay-bahayan, and there was no female to play the role of the wife. So most likely, it could have been Ben because he's more, according to the best friend Flo, he's more domesticated, and he fits more of the stereotypical roles of being a wife, of what a female energy usually does. So maybe that's why he calls him the wifey instead. And it got me thinking too, why didn't he give the term wifey to the girlfriend instead? Wherein the term wifey would be like, I'm your constant. And Bobby is something you can replace afterwards.
Gusto ko yung analysis na yan.
Yeah.
Mas gusto ko yung analysis na yan. Pabor.
Yeah, I mean, kasi especially that line that you said, Mike, a while ago na parang sa dulo, sa'yo pa rin ako uuwi. So, he's gonna be that constant. And maybe that's the reason why he got thrown off at the end. Na, wait, is this a joke? Is this a prank? Maybe kasi he may not be as woke, but he knows if someone likes him.
Right.
Yeah. And he knows. I think
he knows. He just doesn't know how to address it yet, or how to. I think in his way, that was his way of addressing it, making him like, be close to the people I love. I'll protect you as like I protect the people I love.
Right.
Because he doesn't know yet, kumbaga, how to handle the situation.
And coming from the point of view that he is hetero,
yes.
then of course his terminology and his view on the undomesticated couples, or on couples per se, would of course be still male and female. So that's why he used the term wifey, right? And like I said, it's more acceptable now because I think they've already established that between them it's okay. So we are gonna go ahead and accept that, right? But still, I'm hoping.
Yeah, we're all hoping.
We'll see. We will see. One thing I also want to address, or want to bring up, would be, siguro, this is also in relation to what's coming up in the series, right?
Yeah.
There's always talk of Jim leaving, right? And there is again the mention of the dad, who is a bit disapproving of maybe the choices that Jim makes, right? And like you guys said earlier, there was a revelation about Yana regarding her not really being a nurse, but being a member of a family that owns a hospital. So therefore, she gets the scrubs and she gets the quarantine pass. But for Jim's side, or for Ben's side, again, I'm getting confused again. But for Jim's side, we now know that also that he had an argument with his dad because he sort of like neglected the business because of Yana, right? So it's being established that he really loves the girl or cares for her, such that he is sort of like, in a way, he neglects some of his familial duties or whatnot. Right? So there was also a mention in the preview that his dad wanted him to go back home to Davao, but then he couldn't really because the ECQ was extended. But I think as soon as the ECQ is lifted, then he will go fly back to Davao. So are we gonna see a separation there? I don't know.
Okay.
But we have
and there's
just
also
episodes left, so I don't know.
there's also a throwback reminder from the mom saying, if you were just here in Canada or US, but in our place,
Yes, yeah.
it would have been better. Parang ganun.
Yeah. And also we had a revelation, like you guys mentioned earlier. I mean, seeing Yana pop off like that, she was like, "Ooh, okay, girl."
Yeah. You got your dark side. I'm seeing a future tension soon.
Nabwisit talaga ako sa kanya, seryoso.
Actually, I mean, you saw her pop off, and I was like, okay. I was a bit surprised by that because I don't know, maybe her foot was run over. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe.
But, yeah, she was really like, all up in his face, right? And then he was apologetic.
Yeah, and sabi ni Kel, maybe that's the reason why he had 1 star, is because he's really a clumsy driver.
That could be pretty much it, right? I mean, he's just not very good at driving, so he gets lost. He runs people over. So that's why he's getting all of those bad reviews, right? But one thing that I appreciated about Olan/Ron is, and again, we saw his what do you call that? Kalandian, kaharutan. I mean, he's very kaharot, right?
Yes.
And he's very comfortable in delivering it, and he seemed very natural in doing it. Like when he said, "Masakit dito, masakit dito."
I know.
Parang touch me. it's really funny. Oh my God. I mean,
natural diba? Super natural.
Yeah.
If Ben and Jim don't work out, I mean, it's Ben and Olan for me. So yes, Bolan, mag-Bolan tayo.
Mag-Bolan tayo. Mag-Banolan tayo.
Yeah. And I think that was also, go ahead.
No, ikaw muna. I was supposed to say, thank you, Bianca, for breaking up with him. He has more opportunities in the other side.
Yes, he finally realized who he really is. You set him free.
Yep.
So speaking of Olan as well, what was I gonna say? Okay, so he was sort of like the trigger for Jim to look back and say, "Hey, you guys seem very close, right? And then why are you more concerned about him than you are me, right?" So parang it's being established as well that he kind of is protective. Well, he's not just protective of Ben, but in a way, he's sort of like jealous when other people are sort of like, taking his place as the best friend, I guess. Because best friends can be like that, right? If they see their best friend getting close to someone else, then they become jealous and such, right? But I don't know if that's going to be sort of like the trigger for him to start reevaluating his feelings. But definitely, it triggered some form of jealousy. So I guess that's sort of like a clue for us that he may be more jealous as well. Because if you remember in the preview as well, when Olan declared that he would want to court Ben,
you could see the face.
You can see the face of Jim, and he was like, "Okay," sort of like again, you see that sort of jealousy. I mean, shining through, Char. So yeah, it's very interesting. It's becoming very interesting. So 3 more episodes. I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see.
But to the comment of Kale down there, parang, I think it's not political because the father was, based on the chica from Aling Elma, the father disapproves his relationship with Yana as well.
Right.
because he becomes a distraction.
Right,
Mhm.
right, right.
So
Right.
there's another twist to that story.
Right.
Ayun na. So let's see. I'm
There's a
curious
lot of things that
how they
doesn't feel
build. I mean, what's the love story between Yana and Jim? I mean, how did it start? We only see the present, but how did it start?
right. We don't really see a backstory. Right. But for all intents and purposes, it looks like they're a solid straight couple because you could see
Like,
sort of like they have for each other with the dinner and with the necklace and with the way Jim looks at her. But then if you notice as well, when Ben sort of like closed the door and there was a sound, Jim looked over. So he's also showing that maybe concern for Ben. But
right.
we don't know how that's going to be manifested in the coming episodes. Um, and we don't even know if Team Mine or Leo is gonna make an appearance again.
Wag na!
Alam mo, wag na.
Wag na! Wag na! Eksena, komplikado.
Tama na si Team Mine. Ayoko na.
Oo. Wait, Mikey,
Yeah.
then last, before siguro we discuss further, we talk about what's inside. Let's try to backtrack a little bit. I'd like to flash like, kasi baka mawala to sa chat natin eh. LM
Yeah.
says something about the
Ay, gusto ko yan.
Soji training, no? Very socio-political mga tina-target ng Ben and ex-Jim. I must agree. And I like na pinag-Soji training ni Direct Easy, yung mga actors before they started shooting, dapat gawin sa requirement. As a requirement, yung Soji training. I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, definitely. Especially since we're all very concerned about representation, appropriate representation, proper representation. Then yeah, I think that should be a requirement. And besides, if for example, well, it's not just to help the show, but it's also maybe for the enlightenment or for the education of the stars, right? Because we've seen an actor say something about
Yes. A show.
I'm trying to be careful here. That's why I'm speaking ever so slowly. But we've seen it. We've seen someone talk and say something. But anyways, it was completely. It was a bit off. So anyways, never mind. That's done and over with. So moving forward, yeah, I think the Soki discussion orientation could be very beneficial. Because
Yeah.
if you are, if you want to be an ally, or if you are, let's say, a member of the het community, and you are playing a gay role or an LGBTQIA role, then at least you will be more informed, right? So I think that's overall, yes, a very good thing to do. Yeah, ang daming disagreement na nagaganap si Dad, no? So I guess that's one of the things that can be explored in the upcoming episodes, especially since we've seen also kids who have very disapproving fathers be the most
Yes.
confident of them all. So
Mhm.
because they want to live up to the dad's expectations, they want to live up to the dad's, I guess, guidelines and rules and such. So
Or the usual tradition would be, do you want someone to carry their surname? So give me an apo,
yes,
Ah.
yes, yes.
follow his legacy.
Ah. Diyos ko, mama.
Yeah. And true, Stefan, right? We don't know how far they're gonna go. Maybe they'll just focus on the three characters, right? The triangle, and maybe work around there. Maybe the dad is just a backdrop. We might not
Right,
even see
right.
them. Maybe not even the parents, because it is a small production, I think.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's a small cast, so
Yeah, but speaking of dads, curious lang ako, is there, besides the ones we've seen in Thailand, are there any supportive dads shown in Pinoy BLs? Bukod, yeah,
a dead dad
Game
from
Boy.
Gaming.
no, Game Boy, he died before showing the support.
Quarantines.
Ah,
Quarantines.
talaga? Quarantine.
Rocky's
Okay.
dad.
Oh yeah, Royce's dad,
Yeah.
Interesting.
si Rocky.
I don't remember anyone else. So if you guys in the comments know of any other father who is approving and supportive, let us know. Yeah.
Pinoy BLs. Because
Yeah, there's
mostly
a
I remember the ones from Thai, like from Sotos.
BBK.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yes.
na talaga. Gusto ko na sabi ni Ryan. Sarap pag untugin tatay ni Vlad, tatay ni Carl, tatay ni Jim. Who else?
Yung
Tama
tatay
ka
din
dyan.
sa Better Days.
Oh my
Talaga?
God. Rion, ano,
Yes,
pag-uugin ba yung mga ulo nila?
Oh my gosh, what?
Oops. Never mind. Moving on, guys.
Okay.
It's not Kalat
You
Our
get it.
Pet.
Yeah.
Di pa. We're
Wait,
getting
what's
there.
the turtle? What's the turtle? Explain that. I don't know what that
What's
is.
the turtle? I don't get the reference to the turtle.
But
Is that a character type? I don't know. Let us know.
nag-agree si Lizzie. Ano kaya to?
I think the Soji maybe.
I think the Soji. LM also said something 942. Dapat yung mga stories din, dapat ma-approve yung script sa Soji. Oh, that might take a while though.
Yeah.
And it might, I guess it might also affect the creative process because maybe, yeah.
Kasi,
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because we have to go back to what's the in core nila. Like, what's their intention, their goal, and the reason for creating the film or the series. Let's say if they're there for pure entertainment or they can go all out. If they're there for satire, they can go caricature all the way. So, but if you're going realistic, so I think that's where we would need the Soji Council for that or the Soji Committee for that.
And I get the idea, but maybe approve is, well, it borders on censorship, I would say. So maybe have a consultant would be more appropriate. Not necessarily approve, but have a consultant, right? Because if you're talking about approval, then that means it won't go to production unless it gets the yes from the committee. So maybe more a consultant for me.
Baka ang gusto lang yata ni LM is parang we align it to what's happening at the moment. Kaya tama din sinabi nila. So parang we ask the series and the production, ano bang goal ninyo in the first place? Parang are we just to entertain or are we here to like, not really politicize, but to make people aware? If that's the case, then I guess, hindi naman siguro approve. Parang to align siguro with the committee, I guess. No? Yun. But this is a good insight. I must agree. Yeah. Oy, may insight din si LM regarding the dad. Dun sa Game Boys pala, and the dad sent the letter accepting him.
Yeah. Okay. No matter what. That's the title episode.
Yes.
I think you guys mentioned already the confession. Have we unpacked that? Unpacked talaga. Have we unpacked that already?
You want to unpack more? Go ahead.
Why do you think he overturned himself, or why do you think he took it back?
Yeah, and I think when he was saying that speech, he realized what world they were living in.
Yeah.
So he took it back. Kasi parang it was like if I'm going to his mentality, it's like a struggle between. It's like word vomit na. I'm saying this and I realize, oh no, I said all of this. I want to take it back. And I said another word vomit saying, no, joke lang. Pero in my head, I was thinking na, I just opened myself to the world. And then suddenly, oh shit, I'm living in the wrong world. So I want to take it back.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean.
Yeah. Right.
And I think he wanted to save the friendship maybe in that, but I think it went the wrong way.
Yeah. Possibly. I think one of the things that he was also, because a lot of things go through your head when you're admitting to someone.
Yeah.
I've been there.
But
I think one of the things that weighed heavily on his mind was that, I mean, he knows Yana, like personally. I mean, if she was not a face or she was not a person that he had met, then maybe things would have been different. But then he met her. And I think he likes her, right, in that sense, because he also verbalized it na mabait si Yana, etc., right? So I think when he said that, and then he saw what they were, what the love they have for each other, I guess, or the relationship, I think he started thinking about, okay, well, he doesn't have a real life girlfriend, and he's not bad anyways. Because if she were a bad person to him, I think it would have been easier for him to, admit it and not take it back. But then he saw the necklace and he saw the dinner and he saw the effort of Jim, etc. And then when they were having that conversation, he even said, "Na yes, what is it? Parang I don't think he said anything about Yana,
No,
but
no, no, I think parang in return Yana was saying to Ben, to Jim na kung wala
right,
ako, si Ben na lang mag-aabantay sa'yo.
correct,
Right, right.
yes. Ang bait talaga ni Jim, no?
So,
I mean, ni Ben, no?
ni Ben.
Buti nga, nagko-confuse na naman ako. Buti nga, ang bait ni Ben, no? Para babantayan kanya pag wala ako. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah. So, hearing that from her, knowing that she appreciates him and, she trusts him, then I think that also weighed on his mind when he said the confession, right? But I think because he was drinking, it was liquid courage, basically. So he was emboldened to say what he really thought. And that was also sort of like, I think, what do you call that? He was also encouraged by Jim when Jim said, basta kapag may kailangan ka o gusto kang sabihin mo lang sa akin kahit ano pa yon. Right? So you can tell me anything and everything. And that's okay. So that's when he said, okay, I'm gonna tell him. And then he told him.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Actually, in that moment, parang my brain was going in different theories already. Like, will he go this direction? Will he go this direction? Will he go that direction? So every BL plot was running in my head from theory of love to the others.
Yeah. And I think one of the things one of the reasons that he took it back is maybe he was preempting. He already feared that Ben will reject him or laugh at him or whatnot. So that's why before Jim could say anything, Ben took it back because he feared what Jim could probably say, right? But that's the thing. Jim was very, very quiet. I mean, we saw his smile go down.
Yeah.
But then I think he was really just processing it. And I was hoping that he would say something, but then Ben said something first. So I was like, oh no, he took it back. What if he had said, okay, that's okay. I still love you as a friend, blah, 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 blah. Or he could have said totally something different. But we will never know because Ben said something first.
We will find out in the following episodes.
We'll find out in the following episodes. But I think it's also okay that Jim didn't say anything because I think he really was at a loss for words because he was really thinking. You could see his brain functioning, right? I mean, you could almost hear the cogs turning in his head. Like, what do I do? What do I respond? How do I respond to that, right? So I think that he was really at that.
Question, Mikey Lance. But what do you think was he thinking during that time? Was he like hesitant in the situation, or was he processing something else?
He meaning which he?
Jim.
Jim.
Natigilan siya, diba? Parang he was just staring at Ben eh. But like based on what we saw, what was he thinking at that time? How was he processing everything? Was he like hesitant?
He can't really tell, pero I think what he really is in the character. Pero I think there was like several thoughts. One could be, this is my best friend. How will I say this in a nice way that I won't hurt him? Because he's my best friend. And he's a person I care about. Is it still a person that I love as a best friend or as a brother, kumbaga? Buti hindi siya na brother zone eh. Na best friend lang, may pag-asa pa. It's worse if you're called like a brother.
Bro. Like, bro.
Yeah, bro, dude. Kapatid na kita.
But he was friend zoned, right? Because he said,
best friend.
So you're the best friend, right?
And they say love.
And I love you too. You're the best friend in the whole wide world.
And parang that made me twist something. Ooh, okay. Something different might be coming. Yeah, and they say friendship is love on fire. So let's see what will happen afterwards. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. Kasi marami pang thought, ang dami niya pag-ihimayin pa eh. I mean, there's a lot of what can come in the straight man's head. Like, he could be he doesn't know how to handle the situation too. Kasi it's his first time na to meet a gay friend who would say, I love you. So
Best
how
friend
do
pa
I
niya.
say, best friend pa niya, how do I handle this? What do
Right.
I
Right.
do? And he's the protector type.
Yeah.
And he's not the type na barumbado na I'll say it in front of your face. No, he's not that type. So
Mhm.
you could still see in him, he still genuinely cares for people.
Yes, he
Mhm.
does. And what was it that you said? Yeah. So it's only been a few days wherein he found out, number one, that his ex best friend was gay.
Mm.
Right. I mean, that was like a few days ago, and
Yeah.
now that ex best friend is telling him that he loves him, and not just as a best friend, but love, love, love. Right. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I think that was a lot to process. So
Mhm.
he's still navigating through that sort of like cobwebs in his brain. Like I haven't even dealt really with the first part, and now there's this. So like I think he was just really like taken aback. I mean, he was genuinely trying to process the information, but before he could answer or respond, then took it back. So we don't know really what was going on in his head. But I think
But
that but I think you're correct, right? That he really genuinely cares for Ben. But I don't know if that will tip over to the kind of love that Ben is looking for.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
We don't know
If it
yet. We're not. I'm not sure yet.
if it does, it becomes theory of love. It becomes theory of love, where he suddenly realizes, oh, I love my best friend.
Right. And here, LM said, right, star-crossed lovers. And we mentioned this before, right? Now, why
Mhm.
constellation? Why stars, right? When we talk about star-crossed lovers, it always ends in tragedy or separation,
I
right?
Mm.
know. And we could see
So,
separation already.
right? It's looming in the background. And at this point in time, it's like, for me, it's like 90% separation and then 10% together. So,
Yeah.
because I'm not seeing like any real concrete indication that Jim is gonna be falling for Ben, right? Because all that we've seen so far is like a little concern, a little jealousy, but that's quite normal, especially among best friends. So I don't know, but just in case, Team Olan, Team Stars, I'm all for it.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, me too. Team
And
Stars. Let's
Team
go.
Star. Okay,
and I think we're getting, yeah.
go, Mickey, go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that we are seeing a bit of the steamy sex part because Olan is taking off his shirt. So,
Right, 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 right,
somebody
right.
mentioned
And
before, no,
Mikey,
not
yeah,
steamy
and
sex, not steamy sex.
that's how you do a takeoff shirt scene. Make
So you
something
know
spill over them.
exactly there should be
My
a
valid
reason, like
reason.
vomit
Exactly.
or water or whatnot. Because
Yep.
there is a particular here in taking off
Oh,
their shirt. There's a particular reason at all. Not even
right,
saying it's hot or
right,
Yeah.
nothing. They take it off.
right. O sa ibang mga series out there ha, ayan, take cues from this particular series. Magbuhos kayo ng tubig diyan para mahubaran yung mga ano niyo, characters niyo. Oh, but pero
Yes.
the reason that I asked that question siguro how Jim processed things at that moment. The good thing that we're getting different insights, you know. But maganda yung sinabi ni Stefano. Stefano is saying that in this case, why did Jim react that way in the end, no? Kasi here's the thing. Thought process lang. Siguro this can be related to Soji. Kasi parang we're
Yeah.
thinking na baka straight guys can be a bit taken aback pag may gay friend na nagsabi, uy, gusto kita. Di ba? Usually ganun ang mindset eh. But with Jim's reaction, you can sense that there is a sense of compassion eh, right? Na parang, oh, parang natigilan
Mm.
siya. He stared at Ben and he was kind of like processing things. So tama naman siguro si Lance na parang probably
Yeah.
parang hindi na alam kung paano mag-respond to Ben at the end of the day because I mean, he's the best friend and he doesn't want to like end the friendship or anything. He was still processing at the time. But ako kasi,
Yeah.
in my head right now, I think it will lead us to the question na parang to love someone, is gender really necessary to consider at the end of the day? Kasi like for example, in the case of the silang dalawa, Ben and Jim, right? Right? Jim was kind of like taken aback and he was still processing things. Parang I think walang line or parang thick line in really declaring your love for someone, right? Parang love, I mean, you don't really have to be gay and you don't really have to have that kind of mindset na hala, kasi bakla ka, ayaw kita or what. Kasi ako in my head right now, I'm thinking, baka lang, Jim is still processing it in his head and probably in the next episodes we'll
Yeah.
be able to see
Mm.
the stories unveil at the end of the day. So yun yung
Yeah.
thought process at the moment. Na parang, kasi ako, I would ask a straight guy, no? What if like a gay friend would tell you, hey, mahal kita. 'Di ba? Ano kayo usually ang reaction? Like normally. Probably babatukan na, uy, sira ulo to, ulol mo. Mga ganyan, 'di ba? Sira ulo
Yeah.
ka. But
The
here,
question would be, what year and what generation did they live in? Because
ah,
if you're asking our generation, that might be the answer. If you're asking this generation, the kids now, it's going to be a different answer. Because the straight guy now is fluid, I think. I think they're more open to that idea now, especially that
right.
the I think they're getting more woke and they're getting more
Exactly.
open to the idea of love.
Exactly. So that's what where we're getting at now. Parang people are gender fluid now. I think that's the whole point. Eh. No, na, it's actually a beautiful episode because we're not seeing
Mm.
like a compartmentalized like dimension of sexuality. Eh. We're seeing like fluidity now. Eh. Now the fact that Jim reacted that way means it means something. Like just like what Stefan said. Why did he react that way? It could mean something, right? I'm not saying that there is something, but we'll be able to know in
Yeah.
the next episodes probably. Yeah.
But the way that he said, ginagago mo ba ako? I mean, I felt that, right?
Yeah.
Parang, are you,
Me too,
what's your
sobra.
English translation? I didn't see that. I don't look at the subtitles. I don't put subtitles. What was the English translation for that? I don't know. If you guys know, let
I
me know.
didn't check.
But yung ginagago mo ba ako? Parang, why are you, parang, are you good timing me, right? I mean, are you playing a game? Like, what is this, right? Because I think, yeah, parang he was taken aback by it. And he didn't really know how to respond to it. And I think he also felt a bit offended now. Because why would you say something like that and then take it back, right?
Yeah.
So that could be an indication that maybe he was hoping that it was real. But I'm not going to go that route because he already said earlier, right? I mean, we already saw his expression earlier. Like it really changed, right?
Yeah.
But then again, we could be misinterpreting it. I mean, we are looking at it from our lens, right? Maybe
Yes.
the reason why his expression changed is maybe because, oh my God, maybe something resonated in him. I don't know. And this is me putting that lens on this ship happening, right?
Yeah.
So because I'm hoping that this ship happens, maybe I'm putting that kind of interpretation on it. But then someone who doesn't like the couple might have interpreted it a totally different way, right?
Yeah.
But then just looking at it from ginagago mo ba ako, it's like he was offended basically because parang Ben was giving out mixed signals and a lot of information, and that's a lot to process for a guy, right? Especially if you consider possibly that this guy is in his heart of hearts, he knows that he's also a bit different, right? So if you do that kind of push and pull and tug with that kind of person, then of course it's really going to be very offensive because then you're playing around with his feelings. That's basically what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Ang caption niya actually in English in the subs was, "Are you making fun of me?" So mas malutong pa rin yung ginagago mo ba ako?
iba
Oh.
pa rin.
Iba pa rin.
Iba pa rin.
Because I think they couldn't do the translation literally in that because it's gonna be, "Are you fucking around with me?" Parang ganun.
Yeah. Are you shitting me? Ganon.
Yeah, parang ganun. Ganun.
Or what the fuck?
Yeah, it could be that.
Right? Yeah. Actually, I felt that too, Eldon. And that's what makes this series very effective for me, at least in
Yes.
terms of the conversations and the discussions and because the actors are very good. They're very good in delivering and they're very natural, I would say. Even the facial expressions, the changes in body posture, right? I mean, the gestures for Chijin, for Jerome, really, really very good. So I don't know if that's because of a workshop or that's because they are just naturally talented, but I really appreciate that about them. In fact, even Flo, right? You guys mentioned is also very natural, and even Yana, right? So yeah, I think this was a pretty well cast show. And Olan, of course, we love Olan.
Yes, Olan.
Teen stars.
Direct Easy, if you're here, I will see some hot TV sex. Because guys, take note. For those who have seen the interview with, I think it was Psycho Milk. I'm not sure, but the interview with Ben and Jim, Jerome actually said that because they looked at some BL clips, right, with BL actors being all lovey-dovey and touchy and whatnot, and then Jerome actually said this is nothing compared to what we do or what we did in the series. So I'm still waiting for the hot series.
Wow! Diyos ko! Gusto ko yan!
Correct?
Ugh, direct!
I mean, if it's not necessary to the story, okay. But then, he got me all excited because he said, we did something here that, basically tinaob yung BL series. So,
Pero
hmm,
I have a theory though. Parang based on what
yeah,
we've seen from the past 4 episodes, I think they're gonna show us something intimate rather, right? Not necessarily steamy, but something that I don't know, like intimate. Like there's really romance. I think yun yung anticipation ko eh. Parang tama
yeah.
yung sinabi ni Lance kanina. Parang it's kind of like theory of love with an
Hmm.
intimate scene. Ganon.
Okay.
And like intimate bed scene. I don't know. And this is I don't know.
I don't know.
This is the
Yeah, I
regal.
mean,
So, 'di
mm,
ba? Push.
He might even
yeah.
have a water scene there too. May hose. The car wash kasi.
Yes, they did a video how to do a sexy car wash. Oh my god,
I
like seriously,
know.
Jerome.
Pero they're referencing the old. So I'm not wondering what's going to be the next video. Because the first one was cake, and Ben was baking a cake. The second one was the car when Jim was fixing the car. So what's
Mm.
Yeah,
next?
right, absolutely. So here we have Aerostar saying, for
Yeah.
once, I actually don't want Ben and Jim to end up together in the finale immediately. So are you saying you want them to have a second season?
May
What
nagsasabi sa
What do you
chat
think,
eh. Who's
guys?
saying that?
What
Ooh.
What do you think, guys? Can we accept if it's just a friendship at the end, or
I
should there be
yeah,
something more?
I can accept it to be a friendship because I think maybe that could be why Derek was saying nataob naman yung ibang BL because we're not going the love route. Kumbaga, we're not going to the generic, the couple ends up together.
Ay!
Unlike the
Okay.
usual series flow, di ba? So, let's see.
Oy, may thoughts talaga ako. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
gonna reference Emily in Paris and to all the haters of
Okay.
Emily in Paris, okay? Parang, so I think maganda yung sinabi. I think it was episode 9. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lanza. It was ang title ng episode was the French ending eh. I think the French
Okay.
ending
Yes.
would go for the pragmatic, the practical ending, not the usual ending,
Mm.
not the happy
Okay.
ending, right? So I think I'll have to agree with Lance. I think I'm okay with that kind of ending because it makes it more real, more
Mhm.
pragmatic, more felt for me, at least ako, for the kind of viewer that
Mhm.
I am. So I want a
Yeah.
French kind of ending, para make it a bit sad for me, pero it will actually make me long for a second season to make it like I
Mhm.
don't know, more expansive and more told siguro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ah,
it's like yung if I'm referencing one of his movies, Mamu, you would have the same feeling that it's not as heavy as the predecessors of our LGBT stories, and it's not as light as Boys Lockdown,
Right,
where Mamu's
right.
a balance of both. So
right.
maybe it could be that. Because it ended,
Pwede.
Mamu ended with a note na there's still love, but it's not the love that you expect.
Yeah.
It's like
Mm.
Disney now with Elsa, with, well, how do you write Disney stories now?
Right.
So let's
Okay.
see.
Not the conventional
Right.
ending, kumbaga. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And we've talked about that, I guess, in one of our other chats, right? That there are endings which we are happy with, but then there are
Mhm.
endings which we can accept because we were talking about Call Me by Your Name, right? They didn't end up
Yes.
together,
Mm.
but then it was something that
Hmm.
we could accept because
Mhm.
we understood where the characters were coming from and maybe the social
True.
situations that they were in.
True.
So earlier, when I was thinking about it, what also came to mind was Love of Siam. So that
Yes.
was they didn't end
Yes.
up together, but it
Yes.
was it was still an acceptable ending or a good ending for me,
Right.
especially since and I think they might go that route. I don't know because the character Tong told Mew in the end that we can't be together, but that doesn't mean I don't love you.
Oh,
So that can,
made me sad. Super yung
but
scene na yun.
I
Grabe.
know it's
Oh.
still it's still one of my favorite like
Yes,
Vietnamese
me too.
I watch it and I get feel good vibes when they start when they start out, right? And it's not, I mean, it doesn't have a lot of kisses in it. I mean, there was one tender kiss, it was
Ah,
very romantic, and then there's the
Aww.
sleeping together, but not a lot of skin and no sex. But I mean, that's the kind of
yeah.
stuff that really
May
gets to
kinainis pa
you,
rin ako doon, super.
right? So I mean, if they go that route with Bennett's Gym, I think
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm here for it, and
It'll
then
work.
maybe
It'll work.
we'll get a second season. But
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
whatever. The way that I was hoping that there would be a level time continuation, but
Uh-huh.
it's also
Oh,
okay because
I
it's one of
know.
those
yeah,
great love stories that
right.
might be ruined if they do a second installment. So
Okay nang ganun eh. Yeah.
yeah, we can live with that.
Hoy, wait lang. I'll cut you
Hi,
off
Ali.
very
Hi, Lizzie.
I'll cut you very quickly, no? Sabi ni Ellie naman, parang they will not go into too much skinship but the kilig is there. Yes, that's true. But may tanong talaga si Ryan. Ano daw ang acronym ng After Chat Tonight? Dahil sinabi ni Ellie ang skinship, ang acronym for tonight ay skin. Gawa natin ng acronym ng skin.
Oh my
So
God.
Ryan and
Oh my
everybody,
God.
skin. Ang
Nag-iisip lang tuloy
skin
ako.
ang
Oh my God.
acronym
Ano ba
natin
yan?
tonight. Okay?
About the show, or are we talking about what we look for in a show, or what?
The series, parang what makes a good series.
Uh,
So let's come up with
Oh my
the meaning of an acronym
Ang
using the
dami.
word skin. Using the word
Ang
skin.
dami
Go
na.
ahead.
Oh my God. Grabe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something like gago.
Si Lizzie
That's
kasi.
the final line eh. That's the final
Sabi
line.
kasi ni Lizzie, skinship
Oh
eh.
my
Sige, inaban natin yung
Why?
skin na yan.
Career
Gagawin
natin
pa
yung
natin
skill na
for
yan.
every episode. Mahihirapan tayo.
Meron na ako. It's type to ready.
Ayan, meron yan.
Oh my God.
Yan.
Oh my God.
Oh, story,
Sorry,
kilig,
kilig,
impact,
impact,
nuances. Oy,
nuances.
gusto ko yung nuances. I like the nuances.
Mm.
Oh, lahat kayo viewers. Yes, friends.
Na-challenge
Ano
ako
yung-
dun, ah.
Oo. What makes a good series? Ayan, gawa ng ibig sabihin ang word na skin. S-K-I-N.
Now with you guys.
Pakana mo to, Ryan. Rion, pakana mo to.
Ayun,
Mag-isip ka. Yan, mag-isip ka.
And we shall vote in the poll afterwards.
Si Lizzie nag-iisip ka. Right. Okay.
But I have another question for this particular episode though. I think
Yeah.
sinabi na ito kanina ni Ryan, no, yung X and constant eh. Parang, are you the kind, if you're in the middle, right? If you're like Pearl, no, or like Ben, would you go for someone who's constant or yung X na yun? So yun.
I'd go with Alex. If I were in that series, maybe I'd go with Alex. Definitely.
Ako, Alex ako.
I mean, Alex is fun.
Alex, girl. Diba?
And Alex knows what she wants. And I think
Yeah.
that she could be good for Pearl. Yeah. Did I lose you guys or what?
Oh, yeah.
Tumahimik lang tayo. Like crickets. Yeah. For now, I'm Team Alex because Curleen.
Me too.
Curleen I think she has a lot of different show. But anyway, I'll do it quickly. Curleen has a lot of hang-ups. And I
Pero,
think before she resolves that, then Pearl might as well enjoy the company of someone else. Because obviously, that relationship has sort of like taken a wrong turn. So it's very awkward. It's kind of forced, right? So I think Pearl needs a break from that. And to have Alex there to be her constant, because I mean that's basically what it is, right? I mean, if you have a relationship with someone, or if you're in a relationship with someone, it should be easy. It should be, something that uplifts you. I mean,
Yeah. Pero let's
So-
give it to the Benex Gym world naman, BL Universe. Let's say you are Ben in between of Jim and Olan, but Jim without Yana.
Hi.
I mean, Yana's not in
Yeah.
the picture.
Yeah.
so we have a
Yana.
foursome now. We have a box. Actually,
Na-triangle lang kayo.
Actually, fun fact pala. sabi parang easy for Direct. He posted the poster for tonight's episode. And then he was like, what do you think? Yana and Ben? And I was like, Olan and Yana. Together they are Olana. And then he responded with Yana all. And I was like, that was so good.
Very witty si Direk. Kinakatuwa siya.
So I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna go Lulu, then if Yana and Olan end up together, I think somebody said in the comments as well. What if Bianca shows up and then she tries to take back Olan?
Right.
Ano yung amnesia daw si
Oh my
Olan?
God. The crossover is real. The crossover is real. But wait. Stefan says, a good series for me is one that speaks to my heart and which approaches my personal story as a Thorn type, but also a series with the sound that touches me. Yeah.
Oh, it's Thorn Type. Wait, Thorn Type
Thorn type?
premiere
Oh.
season 2 tonight. Tonight ba?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, this is a Birds of
Nice.
Thursday. What the
No.
hell?
No, wait. Is it Thursday or Friday? I'm not
Joke
sure.
lang, Friday yata. I'm not so sure.
Ah,
right
sorry.
I'm not sure, guys. I don't think it's tonight because tonight earlier was Omando actually.
now.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that after.
Omando. Yeah.
So if you guys, want to support Kokoy and Alex Diaz, go ahead and watch
Of
that.
course.
Yes.
Wait, it's going to be a different Kokoy, no?
It is
Yeah.
going to be a different
Omando.
one.
So I'm
So
curious.
this time, it's the one being pursued. So,
Mm.
And we also have an out actor playing a role, so that would be great too.
right. And I think Alex has come out as bi. So yeah,
Yes.
that'll be interesting. Okay. Anyone else for the skin?
Ken?
Well, I'm waiting for you to choose.
Meron ka ba?
May meron
So
na.
Stefan says it's
Ano ba yun?
Friday.
Wala, joke lang.
Stefan says it's Friday. And yeah,
Yeah,
Kale
Friday
mentioned it
yan.
as well.
Yeah, thank God Pearl is out the lid tomorrow, or else Friday's going to be packed again.
It is so bad, right? Oh, by the way, guys, we've heard right that Pearl Next Door is going to be pushed back because they have some schedule conflicts
With guest actors.
and guests. Yeah, so yeah, we'll watch out for that. And thank you very much for letting us know. It's always nice to be informed.
Thank you.
Okay, Ellen says he explains the mga little symbolisms, the mga color choices and shot choices of Benjamin. May mga meanings in behind that, so baka more clues, right? So Jim
Yeah, I follow that
is
too.
green, and then Ben is blue, right?
Blue.
Yes.
And green usually means health, blue, sadness, or something like that.
Sadness.
Or cool, or something cool, kumbaga. Water, it's
Right.
air. If you go elementals, then it's earth. No, Ben is water, and Jim is gonna be earth.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Mm.
One is stubborn, one is fluid.
I like that. I like that.
One is grounded, one is fluid. Char.
Yes. Yep.
Ellen
Yes, one is grounded, one is fluid.
says for me, this is about what he looks for in the series, right? 10-15 for LM. LM. 10-15.
LM.
LM. Yeah. So for me, I look for the character depth and the writing. Dapat hindi lang 1D or 2D yung characters too. And also good acting and cinematography.
Exactly.
Yes. I
Yes.
think that fits in with the next
Yes.
gen, right? I think our characters are multi-dimensional, right? And also we have some good cinematography and acting. By the way, I remembered we talked about in our first episode, I guess, we mentioned the things that we see in the trailer, or not in the trailer, but in the opening credits. So there was a telescope. I mean, there were the stars, the telescope, the rolling pin, the basketball, the wrench. So we've seen
For the
those
car.
already.
Yeah.
We've seen those already, right? But there is one more, plant. There is a plant in the opening credits. I don't think we've had any scene specifically dealing with a plant. So I think that's something that's something we're gonna take a look at in the future. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's a plot device. Maybe Olan gives him some plants, and then Jim's.
Maybe.
I don't know. We will see.
We don't know.
What are your theories, guys?
Well, gives him a plan instead of a cat or a dog to take care to represent their love. Ito, 7 days.
Yes.
How to lose a guy in 7 days.
Right. Oh my god. But then again,
Wait lang.
plants are
Sige.
green. So since Jim is green, maybe it's gonna be Jim who gives him a plant. I don't know.
And Olan
Mm.
is red. Ang color blocking na Olan is red. Laging red.
Yes, right, right. Yes.
Fire. Passion.
Pwede. Hoy, magulat ka. Ang nagbigay ng halaman, si Nanay Elma. Pak.
Ano ba
Pwede rin
color
naman.
combination ni Nanay Elma? Pwede naman.
But wait,
Wait lang.
yeah. Okay,
May
Nico, go ahead.
lumalaban talaga sa acronym, oh. Mark Arlante.
Hi, Mark.
Ayan na. Here we go.
Ayan na. Ayan, sensitive, kinky daw. Interesting, impactful, and natural. Merong lumalaban din si Kale. Nakita ko si Kale sana ba? Hala, nawala.
Yeah, nandun si Kale.
Si Kale ba yun?
10-16, yeah.
10-16?
Oh, by LM, he says that he's gonna watch Omando.
Oh,
Enjoy!
oo nga. God. Ayan na si
Bye.
Kale.
Thank you.
Ayan kay Kale naman. Sensual, kilig, intrigue, and natural. Yes! Okay.
Oh, it's, yeah. Oh, parallels with the natural.
Pwede.
Natural.
Yeah, we like being natural, right?
Oh.
Okay.
Ay, ilalagay natin sa polls yan, mamaya. Alin sa dalawang acronym meanings ang bentang-benta sa inyo? Yan, yun yung ano yun natin.
To describe this episode.
Yes. Oh, by the way, speaking of the Twitter polls, we just posted a Twitter poll just now. Do let us know what you think about this particular episode. Weigh in with us. Do you love it? Saks lang or hindi masyado? Yes.
Yeah, let us know, right? What about you guys? What would be your answers?
Ako talaga love. Super love ko tong episode na to.
And to think that a couple of episodes ago, we were like,
Right! Diba? Wait, sabi ko nga kay, kay Lance.
this is why. Yeah.
Sabi ko nga kay Lance kanina, parang I must admit, dun sa third episode, hindi ko talaga nagustuhan eh. Parang, oh my God, don't you give me cliches, please. Pero like now, tonight, parang, yes, you're giving me something good.
So you must learn and never to underestimate a series by its first 2 episodes.
Exactly. Exactly. But I mean, to each his own naman talaga eh.
Yeah.
So there will be some non-negotiables for people, right? And of course, that's a personal thing. So we'll just go ahead and respect. Sabi nga ni Nate, in our previous discussion, that people will watch what they want. Let's respect that and let's give it to them. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, very, very important. But me too. I love this episode. It was, apart from what we've already mentioned, I mean the great acting and Mr. Jerome. There's also the I lost my train of thought. I was just thinking of Jerome. And I lost my train of thought. Cinematography, acting, storyline, etc. Yeah, I totally lost it. So you guys, what do you think? Labo.
Just to sum up our session tonight, no? Ako kasi, I must admit, I'm very critical when it comes to like movies and series, not because I'm an expert or anything ha. Pero like I have my preferences. Sabi nga natin, no? I want something edgy and gritty. I want something dirty. Alam mo yun? Show me something different. Parang don't show me something that I've seen before, right? Kaya nga sabi ko kanina, when we started this session, I felt that this series, or at least sa 4th episode pa lang, it's giving me the Thai BL feels and formula, right? It's reminiscent of, sabi nga ni Lance kanina, theory of love, right? But what's so nice about this series, it's giving us the Filipino flavor and angle, right? The story, the characters, very relatable. So I'm giving it to the series really because they made use of the same equation and formula, but it's giving us really Filipino reality eh. Parang, relatable yung mga characters and even the rider, di ba? Parang ganun naman talaga ang nangyayari. So, am I crazy about the series? Well, I must admit, hindi ako ganun ka-crazy, but I'm totally happy. So, it's a satisfier for me. Hindi siya like totally like super crazy na nabubuang-buang talaga ako. But it's a good series, yes.
Okay, I just remembered what I was going to say. So, they gave us a couple of killing scenes here. And I think they gave us a really thought-pondering scene with that last scene, like it made me really start thinking about. Well, it actually also made me sort of reminisce of that one particular time wherein I admitted to someone that I liked them. I didn't take it
Oh,
back though, but well, I mean, what I did was I basically waited for them to respond, and I
mm,
got that friend zone card, which is
oh
absolutely
my
fine.
gosh.
But I was devastated nonetheless because I
Mm,
was hoping for a different answer, and I guess that's why no, Ben pulled back because he was
yeah.
afraid of the response, right? And that maybe he was
Yeah.
afraid as well of him not being able to take it when he hears that he was rejected. So yeah, did
Kasi I'm the flip side naman. I can relate to Ben, ano to Jim. Kasi di ba, remember we had a discussion before
yeah,
na
somebody
has
admitted to
anyone
you.
admitted something na she likes me
Hi,
pala.
Cyril.
I sure will. So, yun. So, kasi I know the person. I've worked with that person
Yeah,
as much as I'm irritated with that person during that time. Pero I had to do it nicely or in a way that she would understand. So I think
Mm,
that's why I could relate to Jim. So that was my thought process before. Like, how in the world did I say this nicely without hurting her so much
mhm,
that
mhm.
will give her na let me go. Parang ganon.
right. So I'm asking the people in the chat if they've also experienced the same thing or if they've done it and how did it go?
Kayo ba? Kayo ba? Like, have you ever
Gusto ko
experienced?
magkwento tayo.
Mikey did share about his experience before, Kayo ba? Like, ikaw,
Magkwento
Lance.
kayo.
Are you the type of guy na magde-declare ka ng, like, liking for someone? Like, are you the type na parang,
na I'm not sure. I'm not really sure if he likes me or not. So hindi. I'm the calculated guy.
ah,
So
Yeah,
okay.
parang
be safe.
if I get signals already na oh you're the type that would like me, you're the type na okay.
Mhm,
Or I'd be
mhm.
asking a question. I'd be dropping lots of questions to get to that answer, what I'm looking
Right,
for. If
right.
I get the correct answers, then okay, I might declare it, or I might ask, do you want us to be together? Pero to
Yeah,
declare that it's gonna be to make that initial move and jump blindly with that,
Di talaga.
parang
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
not that guy.
yeah.
But it,
I'm actually the same. I mean,
yeah.
if I'm not sure about the answer, I will not. But
Mm.
I guess I just contradicted myself. Pero that one time kasi,
Yeah,
that one
we do
time
have those
it
moments,
was the
naman.
one. Yes, it was a moment of
Bata ka
weakness.
pa talaga. Sobrang
It was
bata
such
mo
a
pa
moment of
noon.
weakness, right? And I think because I was going through a very emotional time,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And I felt that he would be understanding. I mean, I kind of figured that he would not give me the answer that I wanted to hear, but
Mhm.
I knew that he would be understanding. That's why I
Yeah,
got the courage to tell the person because I knew that he would be sensitive about it. Alam mo yun?
Mhm.
So I guess
Mhm.
that's one of the things that that we can bank on
Right.
if it's a best friend because we were really close, right? So you can trust that they will be gentle with you, and he really was, and I appreciated that about
Aw.
him. But of course,
uh,
after that, I felt awkward, so I took some distance from him. So, but we still remain friends. Not as close
Okay.
as before. Of course, things can't go back to the way they were, but we were still friends.
Ni-regret mo ba? Did you ever regret that moment, Mikey?
No, I no, I don't regret it
Okay.
because it was actually in a way liberating
Mhm.
because
mhm.
I unburdened myself of this weight that I was carrying, and I finally knew that he didn't feel the same way, which is absolutely fine. Because
Yeah.
I mean, there's always that what if? What if I told him,
Yes,
right? What
yes.
would have been his response? It would always be something that would gnaw, GNAW, gnaw at
Yes.
your at the back of at your subconscious. So yeah, I did. I told. Anyways, there. People are
Yeah,
sharing.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
people are
reading
sharing. I've been
through some
seeing.
responses. Yeah, yeah. Ayun oh.
Yeah, I'm like Rafi din, pero I mean sa akin, I got friends on a lot by women, so that's why I'm on the other
Aw.
side. I told that before then. I think that's why I changed, kasi when I was trying to go for women, then suddenly I kept getting friend zoned a lot. Then I realized maybe let's just try to center with something else. I became an Uber geek. turn to the books, academics. Then after work, then I realized I think I don't have anything to do now. Let's try love again and explored both sides. But I think I realized. Do you remember that question that they asked me? That Dutch guy asked me straightforwardly, saying, "If you had your ideal girl and your ideal guy in front of you, where would your eyes look first?" And
Yeah.
tapos if that's where you look, that's your parang romantic attraction. But next question would be, who would you make love with? It's going to be your sexual attraction.
Yeah.
So mine aligned. So okay. So he confirmed, oh, you like guys. Oh yeah.
Right. So I think you showed Pat's answer earlier, no?
Yes,
And that's
yes.
true, right? They're just not into us. They're into someone else.
Yes.
So, and it's pretty much the same for straight people. Diba? They're into women or men, and we're not. So that really happens. And
it's parang BLs lang. Now we all got a choice. We all choose what we want to watch or who we want to date, who we want to see, who we want to love. So it's the same thing. Yeah, we've got our own preferences. So we just have to respect that and don't burden yourself on that. You're not wrong. It's just that you are just mismatched.
Yeah, right. Funny yung sinabi ni Rion. He said,
I read that a while ago.
I did actually, sir. Rion, stop calling me sir. Just Mikey. Binawi ko din siya agad and said, dapat ka na sabihin mo sa kanya pag sinabi mong gusto mo siya. Okay, Rion. So, yeah. Sort of like what Ben did, right? So you turned it around and just sort of like you were teaching him the stuff, right? And Rafi got friend zoned as well. Yeah. Sometimes it's a spur of the moment things, right? You can't really plan for those things, eh? I mean, sometimes it's just maybe alcohol, or sometimes because you felt something at that particular moment.
Yeah, and actually, those people who friend zone you become your best friends, like Pearl and Gav.
That's very true. Correct. Stefan, they want you to kiss them? What, for fun?
So they can sing, I kissed a boy and I liked it afterwards.
Right. Maybe they feel safe with Stefan, with kissing him.
Yeah, maybe. I think so.
They know that, they won't be taken advantage of, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, Sir Will, sorry to hear that.
Yung mahaba kwento ni Kuya ni Sir Will.
Yeah, inuman tayo niyan. But yeah, that's also one way that it can go, right?
May pahabol talaga si Pat.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We can be happy for them, right? So, umamin lang ako sa kanya because I want to set myself free from the agony of hiding from him. I can see that it helped me too somehow. Sinabi ko yun without expecting anything. Yes, that's the thing.
Yeah.
When we say it, don't expect anything in return. Yeah. Or, just be open to whatever happens. Because I think it's so hard. It's going to be harder, more difficult if you expect a particular response. Because if you don't get it, it's going to be more hurtful, right?
Wait lang, may nagtatanong talaga si Pat, may acronym ba tayong segment? Oo. Ang acronym natin ay SKIN.
Sinabi ko na SKIN.
SKIN. So meron tayong entry dito from Ryan, no? Satisfactory, kaabang-abang, impressive, and normal. That's a good acronym. Yes. Meron pang isa, may nakita pa akong isa dito eh. Ayan, si Unlit Marl says, I like sounds, kwento, imagery, and nitty-gritty. Yes!
Oh my God, I love.
Nitty-gritty.
I love nito. Very nice.
Yes. Oh, Pat, asan na yung entry
Pat,
mo?
Ano pang laban mo?
So, ang dami na, no? Ginagawa na talaga. Ginagawa talaga natin sa kanila, no?
Pwede mo na tanggalin, Nico.
Magiging
Apat na
part
sila
ng
eh.
ano to. Oo, magiging part na to ng ano ng segment ng BBS na ano natin, session natin. Yung mga acronym natin.
Acronym and pulse.
Can daw sa kanya. Ano
May bagong
yung can? Anong
kakaibang entry,
can?
ha?
Bakit
Ano
can?
yan?
Ha?
Huh?
Okay.
Antay kami.
Nitty-gritty.
Bet na nila yung nitty-gritty. Gusto ko yung nitty-gritty
Ako rin, gusto ko yung nitty-gritty na yan.
Attention to detail. Mga ganun.
Correct. Mga nitty-gritty. Magamit nga yan sa
Nakita ko na yung sagot ni Pat.
Ako rin, gusto ko rin sagot ni Pat.
Team Stars. Yes.
Team Stars.
Oh my
Basta
God,
you
Team
can, we can, Olad.
Yes.
And I also like the line that he said na parang, yung pangulit lang. Parang, mayaman lang naman yun eh. Mas gwapo naman ako dun, di ba?
Oo.
Very
He's
cute.
funny. He's hella funny. He's very cute. I don't know. I don't know why he glowed up from in between to the next ship. How do you do
I think kasi his character in between was just like kumbaga, if he's like the first boyfriend.
Yeah.
Parang he was just like that extension to Bianca and that was it. So we get to see more of him here.
Mm-hmm.
And he feels more comfortable kasi in this character, I think, or maybe in this role.
So maybe that's who he really is. I mean, maybe that's really his persona, right? And you see his posts on Twitter; they're also very.
I know.
So
yes, they
I
are.
Think, what we're looking at here. Leon always remembers the entire thing.
Like every single acronym.
My God.
My God. Just go.
May kulang. Smirk.
Smirk and
Yes.
Oh my God, guys. I don't know. I can't with you.
But before we actually like close off our session tonight, siguro we'll do some sort of announcement for what's gonna happen this coming Sunday. Yes.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
All right. So
Sino ba?
kahit sino na. So we'll start off siguro we'll start with like what brouhaha is, no? Parang probably people might be asking what brouhaha means. Well, in Tagalog, it's bruha, diba? It's not really brouhaha. So we got this definition from Merriam-Webster, right? And it's pronounced as brouhaha. Brouhaha means uproar, right? Uproar means ano ba uproar in Tagalog?
Yeah, according to Stefan, it was making lots of noise. So we like to make lots of noise.
Right.
That's in French too.
Okay, cool. So, brouhaha, here, we're not actually just making noise or shaking things up. We're here to enlighten people. We're here to like encourage people to be noisy and speak up, right? Like we've been talking about the Soji bill at the beginning of the session. We're not here to shut up. We're not here to like silence ourselves, regardless where you are on the spectrum, whether you're straight, you're gay, you're lesbian, kung ano man yung self-identity mo, you're here. You're safe in brouhaha. You can speak up. You can share your thoughts and insights. Kaya brouhaha is the place where you can be yourself, no? So with that, without further ado, Lance and Mikey, yan.
Yes.
I think Lance could introduce this better.
Yeah, because we already have a new segment called the Brouhaha Speak Room. It's basically a play of words from spectrum to speak room. So we are free to speak about the spectrum, and it tackles more about the soji, about love wins, equality, and all the other stuff that encompasses our lives, equality, and what other lives matter. So there you go. And we like the cassette tape because it's so reminiscent of what we used to do before. We used to communicate our love with cassettes before. We used to give or send messages through cassettes. And if we go way, way, way back, I think these were our old pamphlets during the Katipunero times. These created the movement during those times.
Right.
So we picked something nostalgic, the cassette. So I hope you could join us in the Bruja Speak Room. And there you go, Nico.
So what is this about? When is this going to be, pala? They might be asking.
Right, so it's going to be on Sunday, and it's going to be at 10 p.m., and that is November 8th. So November 8th, 10 p.m. on a Sunday. And basically, it's going to be us talking about some of the issues that we have been encountering and hearing recently, right? And more specifically, we are going to talk about equality. So you all know the hashtag, right? Soji equality now, yes to Soji bill, and also yes, pass ADB now. So that's going to be the main topic of discussion, and we are going to be talking to someone. Do we reveal na ba? we are. Do we reveal na ba? Or hindi
Kayo.
mo?
She said yes naman eh.
Go.
I guess yeah. We're not gonna say who it is first, well specifically, but we are gonna be talking to someone from the Pride org, and yes, we're gonna talk about equality, representation, and the Soji bill. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. And we want everyone to weigh in. We want to hear everyone's opinions, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a very educational discussion. I mean, for me personally, I would like to know more about the Soji bill because I've only heard about it passing. So I haven't really studied it. I don't know the legalities of it. I mean, I know that there are some provisions there, but and I know basically the goal of it. But in terms of the having us chat nitty gritty, I have to know more about it. So it's going to be educational for me, and hopefully it's going to be educational for everyone.
For everyone, yep. True. Siguro parang something that we can take note of before the actual date, no? Baka we can ask ourselves first, ano ba talaga yung sabi mga Mikey, nitty-gritty, what are some of the specifics that we need to know about the Soji bill?
Yeah.
Because we can't just like go brouhaha, and we can't just create the uproar for the sake of. We must know and understand what the Soji bill really is about. Go, Lance, you were saying.
Yeah, just piggybacking on that same acronym. So what are the what are the skin? What is the skin of the Soji bill? What are the sounds that we connect with the Soji bill? What are the cuentos related to the Soji bill? What's the imagery related to the Soji bill as well? And what's the and again the nitty-gritty stuff inside or written down in the Soji bill. So I think that's our main body for that.
Hey, correct. And I have something to piggyback on that with, right?
Piggyback.
Remember, when you're sort of like making conversation and you want to know sort of like the details, we say, can you give me the skinny on that? So skinny of Soji.
Yes.
Gusto ko yun.
I wrote it in the chat.
Ryan is asking, Mikey.
Oh, he said, "Oh, love it. Oh, will this be on YouTube and other platforms like Spotify? Oh, it's gonna be here on YouTube and simulcast on Facebook. So it's I know that the titos are on Spotify. We haven't figured out how to do that yet, but since we already know how to do YouTube, then we are gonna be on YouTube. So I mean, we'd love to be visible, I guess, in that sense. So yes, watch out for that, and please join the conversation. Hi, Anitmar. Yes.
Hello.
Ayan.
Excited ba tayo this Sunday?
I'm very excited. Yes, it is going to be this Sunday. Oh my God.
Yes, I empathize with Stefan because sabi niya Sunday's going to be a long day for him. It's going to be a long day for me too. My God. It's okay. It's going to be a back to back to back to back to back.
It is going to be. We totally understand if it's hard. It's difficult to keep up with everything. We know we're there with you, so you can catch us another time if, for example, you're not able to. It's going to be on YouTube, anyways.
It's 10 p.m. this Sunday, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be. Is it going to be back to back with our boys lockdown review, diba? So if you're hanging on when at 9 p.m.
Oh my God.
Just stay. Just stay.
It's gonna be an extra challenge for us, right? We're gonna do Boys Lockdown for an hour. We're gonna try.
We'll try our best.
We're gonna try our best to finish at 9:57, so that 10 o'clock we can start with the skinny on Soji.
Oh, I love that new tag. Skinny on Soji.
Skinny on Soji. Yeah.
Right. Oh, hi, Jericho.
Hi, Jericho.
Good evening for us. Thank you for driving by. It's yeah, Stefan. We appreciate that, but again,
Yeah.
you can watch it afterwards.
Merci.
Yep. Ayan. So, are we looking forward to the next episodes of Benix Gym?
Oo naman.
Yes. So
Yeah.
naman.
Yes,
Bawing-bawi ng episode na to.
I
I'm telling
agree. I
you.
agree. Super. And I think that somebody mentioned it before. I don't know if it's one of you guys, but we're seeing
Mhm.
sort of like a pattern. Like it goes up and down in terms of
Yeah, I did.
let's say, yeah. So in terms of the good, the bad, the good, the bad, or excitement. Yeah. So so the next one should be sort of like a high, right?
Yes. Next, yeah, it's gonna be the high because there's gonna be the love between. There's a tease of love in the end
Mm, yes,
of the
yes,
teaser.
yes.
So let's see.
Yep. So we'll go ahead and watch out for that. I know you guys will be watching out for that as well. So we're expecting really good things from this series, and hopefully it ends on a good note as well. Maybe not
Yeah.
necessarily them ending up together, but hopefully a good ending in terms of the logic and of course
Mhm.
how it turns out or how it's treated. Yeah. So I guess that's it. Anything else you want to say, guys?
I'm good. Looking forward to tomorrow. We're gonna have another session tomorrow, right?
Oh my God! Tomorrow is
Yes.
Friday, so it is gonna be
It's
twice.
Friday's GCP. At least you don't have, yeah, at least it's just
But
GCP tomorrow. There's no quarantines. There's no Pearl next door. But we have
Oh,
quarantine.
lang.
right, contact.
Ah, return type, meron pa. Diyos ko.
So basically, it's gonna for me. It's gonna be like GSP, then Better Days, right, and then
Oh
our
yeah, there's better
live.
days pa.
Right. So that's it. So thank you very much, guys, for being with us tonight. Again, so much energy in the chat, and thank you very much for participating and sharing your stories. Again, if you want to go ahead and follow us and subscribe, go ahead and check out our social media. It is brouhahas Squad on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Again, our opinions are our own. They may be different from yours, but that's okay because we are a family, we're a community, and through our discussion, we aim to become better and improve ourselves. So again, thank you very much for being here. Good night, everyone, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Happy
Ciao. Abo.
Thursday.
Adios.
Wow.